A NASCAR driver loses his life during a race, but instead of disappearing forever, his evil soul enters his powerful monster racing car. The car then comes alive on its own and goes out on the road hunting down his old rival and anyone else who gets in its way. The story opens at a large racing track somewhere in the United States. A major NASCAR race is about to start. The atmosphere is loud and exciting with engines roaring and crowds cheering. One of the top drivers named J.J. Sawyer is walking towards his car to get ready for the race. But before he reaches it, a man steps in front of him. This man is Cutter, who is J.J.'s biggest rival on the track. The two have always competed fiercely against each other. Cutter is standing next to a woman named Tammy, who is J.J.'s ex-girlfriend. Cutter looks at J.J. with confidence and arrogance and promises that he is going to win this race. It is clear that Cutter loves to make J.J. feel small and uncomfortable. After the brief confrontation, both drivers walk to their cars and get inside. Before the race begins, Cutter does something personal. He hangs a necklace on his rearview mirror. This necklace looks like it belongs to someone very special to him. It seems to be his good luck charm or a reminder of something important. A few minutes later, the race officially starts. The cars zoom off at incredible speed, and right away, Cutter and JJ are fighting each other for first place. They push each other hard lap after lap, and neither is willing to give the other any advantage. As the race reaches its final laps, both drivers have to make a pit stop. This is a short pause where the team quickly refuels and repairs the car. During JJ's pit stop, his mechanic notices that the car's engine is getting too hot. He warns JJ that the car needs more time to be properly fixed before going back on the track, but JJ refuses to wait. He is determined not to let Cutter get ahead of him. Against the mechanic's advice, JJ drives back onto the track. The two continue to race fiercely side by side, pushing each other to the limit. But just as the mechanic warned, JJ's engine has a serious problem. The car suddenly becomes very difficult to control. JJ struggles with the steering, but it is no use, and the car goes out of control. The out-of-control car crashes into Cutter's vehicle and pushes it over the track wall. JJ's car then flips over multiple times on the track in a terrible crash. But the worst part is what happens to Cutter's car because the impact causes it to burst into flames. JJ is badly shaken and watches in horror from inside his overturned car. He calls out Cutter's name desperately, hoping his rival is okay, but it is already too late. Cutter is still inside the burning car, and the flames are too strong. The fire completely swallows the car and Cutter with it. Cutter dies in the crash. Several years have passed since that horrible day on the track. JJ never recovered mentally from what happened. The guilt of the crash and Cutter's death haunted him so deeply that he gave up racing completely. He is no longer a NASCAR driver. Now he works as a simple truck driver traveling long roads and delivering goods. One day while driving on the highway, JJ spots another driver who is distracted and not paying attention to the road. JJ reacts quickly to avoid a crash, but in doing so he swerves sharply off the road. The rough movement damages his truck, and specifically the transmission hose starts leaking. JJ pulls over and tries to fix the damage on the side of the road. While he is working on the truck, an old friend happens to drive by. This friend is Sheriff Hodges, who is the local sheriff of a nearby town. The sheriff stops to help him and offers to take JJ to the nearest garage to get the truck properly repaired. At the garage, JJ is reunited with an old mechanic friend named Cliff. The two men greet each other warmly. JJ soon learns that Cliff is actually Cutter's older brother, and on top of that, Cliff has married Tammy, who is JJ's former girlfriend. After they catch up on old times, Cliff tells JJ that he has something he wants to show him. It is something he has kept completely secret for a very long time. Cliff leads JJ to a separate garage door and opens it. Inside sits Cutter's old racing car. Cliff explains that over the years he has fully restored and rebuilt the car from scratch. He says he genuinely believes that fate has brought JJ back at exactly the right moment, just as the car is finally finished. But for JJ, seeing that car is like a punch to the gut. It brings back all the horrible memories of the crash and Cutter's death. This is the very thing that made him quit racing. He is visibly upset. Then Cliff drops a bombshell and tells JJ the truth about what really happened that day on the track. Cutter had secretly bribed JJ's mechanic to sabotage JJ's car before the race. The overheating and the loss of control and the crash were none of it really JJ's fault. It was all planned by Cutter to make JJ fail. When JJ hears this, he is overwhelmed with rage. All those years of guilt and self-blame and giving up his career, and it was not even his fault. In anger, he throws his glass of drink at the hood of the car.
Son of a bitch!
The liquid hits the car and strangely seems to sink and disappear into the body of the car as if the metal absorbed it. JJ does not notice this strange detail. Still furious, JJ turns on Cliff and confronts him, physically attacking him for hiding this truth for so many years. How could Cliff stay silent all this time? The fight is broken up when Tammy arrives and steps in to protect her husband. JJ is still angry and unable to deal with the situation, so he storms out and leaves. That evening, JJ goes to a local bar to wait while his truck is being repaired. He tries to calm down and drink away his frustration. Meanwhile, back at the garage, something terrifying happens. Cutter's car suddenly starts on its own. No one is near it. No one turned the key. The engine roars to life by itself, and the car slowly drives itself out of the garage and onto the road. At that moment, two young men happen to see the car speeding down the road towards an isolated dark area. Curious and excited, they decide to follow it. When they reach the spot where the car has stopped, they look inside and realize there is no driver. The car is completely empty. Instead of being scared, the two young men get adventurous. One of them decides to search inside the car, perhaps looking for valuables. The other one sits down in the driver's seat to look around. Then, the car attacks. The young man searching near the back of the car leans toward the trunk. Suddenly, the trunk sucks his arm inside like a powerful vacuum. He screams and tries to pull himself free, but the car is too strong. It keeps pulling him in harder and harder. His hand is torn right off. Then the car drags more of his body into the trunk until half his body has been swallowed by the car. The other half is violently ripped off and thrown to the ground. He is dead. His friend, who had been sitting in the driver's seat, sees this and desperately tries to help. But before he can do anything, the car's seatbelt suddenly snaps tight around him, locking him in place with incredible force. The pressure is so extreme that the young man's ribs crack and break. He bleeds heavily. The car holds him trapped until it finally drags him off into the nearby forest, and he is never seen again. The next morning, JJ returns to the bar still upset and disturbed by what Cliff told him the day before. Shortly after he arrives, Tammy walks in. She hands him the keys to his now repaired truck. She also wants to understand what happened between JJ and her husband Cliff and why the fight happened. But JJ does not want to talk about it. He just wants to move on and forget the past. He says a brief goodbye to Tammy and heads to his truck. At the truck, JJ gets inside the cab and eventually falls asleep because he is exhausted from all the stress. He wakes up hours later when he hears a strange scratching sound outside. When he gets out to check, he finds a young woman spray painting graffiti on the side of his truck. JJ is furious. Without even asking who she is, he grabs the girl and forcibly takes her to the local police station. At the station, he finds out that the girl's name is Jessie, and she is actually Tammy's daughter. Tammy arrives at the police station shortly after and scolds her daughter and takes her home. That night, Cliff returns to his garage. He has clearly been drinking heavily and is feeling guilty about the fight with JJ. He can see that he should have told JJ the truth years ago. When he arrives at the garage, he notices that the garage door is open. Worried that someone might have touched or tampered with Cutter's car, he goes inside to check. But the moment he peers inside the garage, the car strikes. The ghost car activates its electric window, and the glass shoots up with such violent force that it slices off Cliff's head in an instant. The car then drives out of the garage and speeds away, leaving Cliff's lifeless, headless body lying on the floor. The next day, a police officer comes to JJ's truck and tells him to report to Cliff's garage. JJ has no idea what is going on. When he gets there, Sheriff Hagis is waiting for him. The sheriff tells JJ the terrible news that Cliff has been murdered and his head has been removed. The sheriff immediately suspects JJ because he already heard about the violent argument and fight the two men had just days ago. JJ insists that he had absolutely nothing to do with it. Fortunately, a forensic expert on the scene comes forward and tells the sheriff something important. The time of death matches exactly with when JJ was at the police station with Jessie. JJ has a solid alibi. The sheriff accepts this and clears JJ of suspicion. However, the sheriff still demands to know why the two men were fighting. JJ explains and tells the sheriff about how Cutter had bribed his mechanic to sabotage his car, causing the crash years ago. He also adds something strange, which is that when he saw Cutter's car in the garage, he had the eerie feeling that Cutter's spirit was somehow still inside the car. The sheriff listens, but does not take the ghost theory seriously. He tells JJ that he is probably just still deeply traumatized by the past and needs to let go. He dismisses JJ and tells him to leave. JJ then decides to go visit Tammy to check on how she is doing after losing her husband. At the same time, a police officer driving down the road spots Cutter's car moving by itself. He radios Sheriff Hagis to report what he is seeing, and then decides to follow the car on his own. The car leads the policeman to a construction site full of dark buildings and warehouses. The officer gets out of his car and enters one of the warehouses carefully with his gun in his hand and looking around. Suddenly, Cutter's car appears out of nowhere and comes charging straight at him at full speed. The officer fires several gunshots directly at the car, but the bullets do absolutely nothing, and they bounce off or pass right through, having no effect at all. The car slams into the officer and knocks him over and crushes him under its body, And then, as if normal violence is not enough, the car activates razor blades hidden on its windshield wipers. The blades spin and saw off the policeman's face while he lies helpless underneath. He is killed instantly. Back at Tammy's house, JJ sits with her and they talk. Tammy explains how Cutter was completely obsessed with that racing car and it consumed his whole life, and in the end that obsession destroyed him. JJ then quietly tells Tammy what he believes, which is that when Cliff showed him the refurbished car, he had the strong feeling that Cutter's ghost was inside the car and controlling it. He thinks the car is possessed by Cutter's spirit. As expected, Tammy thinks this is completely crazy and tells JJ he is out of his mind. She tells him to leave. She has no idea that the ghost car is actually very real and is already out there killing people. JJ decides that the best thing to do is get back in his truck and leave town. He does not want to be involved in any of this anymore. However, unknown to JJ, Jessie has secretly hidden herself inside his truck. The curious teenage girl has been snooping around trying to find out what really happened to her father, Cutter. She hides quietly inside and waits, planning to slip out when the moment is right. As JJ drives away, he eventually realizes that Jessie is in the truck with him. He is not happy about it. He tells her to get out, but before taking her back home, he stops to buy her a snack, trying to be decent about the situation. Jessie is a headstrong and rebellious teenager, and she argues with JJ. She tells him she does not want to go back to her hometown, and she wants to stay with him and travel. JJ firmly refuses. He tells her that her mother needs her right now, especially after losing Cliff. Jessie makes a big fuss in public, being loud and dramatic. But just before their argument can go any further, Cutter's ghost car suddenly crashes into the diner where they stopped. The car destroys everything around it, including tables and chairs and windows, and it tears through the place like a wrecking ball. Jessie immediately recognizes the car. She stares at the driver's seat in shock because there is no one sitting there. The car is driving itself. JJ grabs Jessie and shouts at her to get back in the truck. They drive away as fast as they can. Back in town, Tammy realizes that Jessie still has not come home. Worried and panicking, she goes straight to the police station to report her missing. Sheriff Hodges listens and is immediately alarmed because that very morning, police had found the bodies of the two young men who were killed by the ghost car on the first night. The sheriff now has multiple deaths and a missing girl. And in his mind, the only suspect is JJ because of his personal history with Cutter and Cliff. These suspicions make Tammy even more nervous, especially given what JJ said about Cutter's car being possessed. The sheriff arms himself and his deputy and heads out to find JJ. Tammy insists on coming along because she believes Jessie is with him. Meanwhile, in the truck, JJ is actually having a proper conversation with Jessie. He explains his theory that Cutter's spirit is possessing the car. Surprisingly, Jessie believes him. She asks JJ to tell her more about the rivalry between him and her father. JJ explains that the rivalry was not really real at first, and it was created by the racing community and the media to attract more attention to the sport. He and Cutter were actually great friends before that, but over time, all the talk and rumors about their rivalry got into Cutter's head. Cutter became obsessed and consumed by it, and eventually turned against his own friend. Jessie starts to see JJ differently after hearing this. She feels sorry for how things turned out. But their conversation is interrupted when a police car pulls the truck over. Sheriff Hodges steps out with his gun pointed at JJ and orders him not to resist. Jessie immediately jumps in and tells everyone loudly that JJ is innocent and that they were attacked by the ghost car, but no one listens to her. Jessie tries to run away and protest. Tammy and the sheriff's deputy go after her. Meanwhile, Hodges pins JJ against the truck and is about to handcuff him. And then the ghost car arrives. The ghost car comes speeding out of nowhere and slams directly into Sheriff Hodges and kills him instantly. But the car does not stop there. It turns around looking for more victims. The sheriff's deputy, who is a young policewoman, bravely pulls out her shotgun and blasts the car with multiple rounds. But just like before, the bullets have no effect. The car accelerates straight at her and hits her with full force and knocks her to the ground. Then it slowly rolls its rear tire over her head, crushing her skull completely. JJ watches in horror and sends Jessie and Tammy running to the truck for safety. He then runs to help the dying policewoman, trying to pull her free by grabbing her legs. But the car is already pressing down on her head, with its tire going faster and faster until there is nothing left to save. Finally, the car turns its attention toward JJ himself. JJ sprints back to his truck as fast as he can and manages to jump inside just in time. He drives away at full speed. Now driving down the open road, the three of them, which are JJ and Tammy and Jessie, are trying to process everything that just happened. Tammy still cannot fully believe that Cutter's spirit has taken over the car and murdered his own brother Cliff, as well as the 2 young men and 3 police officers. It seems impossible. But JJ is focused. He tells them that the most important thing right now is finding a safe place to hide. He picks up the radio and tries to call for help, but no one answers. There is no help coming. All they can do is keep driving and get as far away from the ghost car as possible. Hours later, Jessie finds a quiet spot in the truck to rest. While she is sleeping, Tammy and JJ talk softly. Tammy reflects on her life and how difficult her relationship with Jessie has always been and how hard it was to raise her. She also admits that her marriage to Cutter was never easy. Cutter was always selfish and obsessed with winning, and it was never really about love. She then confesses something she has held inside for a long time, which is that she regrets choosing Cutter over JJ all those years ago. She wonders what her life might have been like if she had made a different choice. She then asks JJ directly what happened between him and Cliff. JJ brushes it off and refuses to tell her because he does not want to reveal that both Cutter and Cliff were responsible for the accident that nearly killed him and ended his career. He keeps it to himself to protect her feelings. Their conversation is cut short when the truck suddenly breaks down in the middle of the road. JJ gets out to inspect the engine. The transmission is badly damaged, and there is no way to fix it on the road. But then JJ remembers something. In the back of the truck, he was transporting a NASCAR race car that he had been paid to deliver to its owner. He starts unloading and preparing the race car as their new vehicle. While working, JJ talks to Tammy about Jessie's bold and fearless personality. He admires it. Hearing this, Tammy takes a deep breath and decides to finally tell JJ the full truth. Jessie is JJ's daughter, not Cutter's. JJ is her real father. JJ is completely stunned. He does not know whether to feel happy or angry or heartbroken. He cannot believe Tammy kept this from him for so many years. What neither of them realizes is that Jessie has heard every single word from the other side of the truck. She overheard the whole conversation. She now knows that JJ is her real father and that her entire life has been built on a lie. Unable to control her emotions, Jessie runs off alone into the dark forest. In the middle of the dark forest, Jessie comes across something chilling. Cutter's ghost car is parked there completely still. She approaches carefully. When she looks through the window, she sees a faint, transparent, ghostly figure sitting in the driver's seat, but it vanishes the moment she looks directly at it. Jessie steps closer. She notices something on the rearview mirror, which is the same necklace that Cutter always used to hang there before every race, a piece of her father's old life. She reaches in to pick up the necklace, and the car immediately grabs her. The seatbelt wraps around her body like a living thing, pulling tight and locking her inside. Jessie screams and fights against it, but she cannot get free. Back at the truck, JJ has finished preparing the race car. He calls out for Jessie, but there is no answer. Just then, Cutter's ghost car comes flying past at full speed with Jessie trapped inside. JJ and Tammy immediately jump into the race car and give chase. As they race after the ghost car, JJ explains his theory to Tammy more clearly. He believes Cutter is doing all of this to get revenge for his death. But more than revenge, the ghost wants to race JJ one final time and prove once and for all that he was always the better driver, even from beyond the grave. Tammy demands to know the truth and asks why Cutter would want revenge when his death was an accident. JJ still will not tell her the full story. He just says that saving Jessie is the only priority right now. Inside the ghost car, Jessie manages to unfasten the seatbelt with great effort. She looks around the inside of the car in horror because the seats and interior are covered in blood and Cliff's severed head is hanging from the passenger seat. Jessie screams and tries desperately to escape, but the car keeps speeding down the road with no intention of stopping. JJ finally spots the ghost car ahead, but it is still too far away to catch. He decides to change tactics. Instead of chasing it, he will lure the ghost car into a trap. JJ directs the car toward a large abandoned factory. He tells Tammy to stay in the race car and wait. He needs to set the trap alone. A few minutes later, the ghost car arrives at the factory and drives toward Tammy's car, threatening her. Then JJ appears driving a massive excavator. He slams the excavator into Cutter's ghost car with full force, pinning it against the factory wall so it cannot move. JJ jumps out of the excavator and grabs a crowbar and smashes through the windshield of the ghost car. He reaches inside and struggles to pull Jessie out. It is a difficult fight, but finally he frees her. He grabs his daughter and runs, but the ghost car is not finished. It breaks free from the excavator and starts chasing JJ and his family again. JJ shouts at Jessie to grab her mother and run to the race car. He stays behind to act as a distraction, drawing the ghost car's attention away from them. Jessie and Tammy jump into the race car and speed off. JJ runs on foot with the ghost car roaring right behind him. He runs as hard as he can, pushing himself to the limit. Just as the car is about to hit him, JJ swerves at the last second, and the ghost car, unable to stop in time, flies off the edge and plunges into the open sea below. The car sinks. Silence. JJ reunites with Tammy and Jesse. They breathe a sigh of relief, but just when they think it is over, the ghost car rises back out of the water. It is not dead. It cannot be stopped that easily. The three of them race down the road through the night and eventually stop at a gas station to think and plan their next move. They desperately try to figure out how to permanently destroy the ghost car. The gas station owner appears and JJ, without wasting time, demands the keys to his truck. The owner is reluctant but agrees. However, the moment he goes back to his office, he pulls out a gun. JJ acts fast and disarms the man and explains that they are in serious danger and need to leave immediately. But it is too late. The ghost car comes racing toward the station. JJ tells everyone to get back and starts firing his gun at the vehicle, but the bullets, just like before, do nothing. The ghost car tries to run JJ down, but he dodges at the last second and the car smashes into one of the gas tanks. Fuel spills everywhere. JJ grabs a lighter and ignites the fuel. A massive explosion tears through the gas station, and the ghost car is instantly covered in flames. But even burning the car keeps going. It is still intact, still moving, still hunting them. JJ sends Tammy and Jesse off in the owner's truck, while he takes the race car and goes in a separate direction. His plan is to split up to divide the ghost car's attention and then draw it toward one final confrontation. JJ drives the race car into the city, trying to shake the ghost car by weaving through streets and dark alleyways. But Cutter's car is relentless, and it follows him everywhere, never giving up. Eventually, the two cars end up back on the open road, racing side by side, exactly like the old days on the NASCAR track. Both drivers are pushing to be faster and to be better. The ghost car accelerates so explosively that JJ completely loses sight of it. He looks around frantically, wondering where it went. Then the ghost car reappears and slams directly into JJ's car from behind, sending him forward with violent force. JJ recovers shaken, but alive. Cutter circles back, preparing to crash into him again. But instead of crashing, the ghost car stops right next to JJ. Through the window, JJ looks into the driver's seat and sees something chilling. Cutter's ghost materializes and appears as a transparent, glowing figure staring directly at him. The spirit of his dead rival is right there, just inches away. JJ knows this will not end until one of them wins for good. JJ drives to a junkyard where Tammy is already waiting for him. They quickly put together a plan to end this once and for all. When the ghost car arrives at the junkyard, JJ acts as the bait. He drives around, drawing the car's attention and keeping it focused on him. The plan works. Tammy climbs into a large excavator and positions herself above the ghost car. When the moment is right, she lifts Cutter's car off the ground with the excavator's claw. The car is dangling in the air and helpless. But then Tammy begins to lose control of the excavator. The machine sways and shakes and she cannot hold it steady. The ghost car breaks free from the claw and drops back to the ground. The ghost car immediately charges straight at JJ and is about to run him over, when suddenly Jesse comes roaring in with a pickup truck and crashes it directly into the ghost car's side. Jesse does not stop there. She keeps pushing the ghost car with the pickup truck slowly and forcefully, shoving it toward a large industrial shredder nearby. JJ sprints to the shredder and activates the machine. The shredder's blades fire up with a deafening roar. Jesse pushes the ghost car right into it. The shredder tears through Cutter's car completely. Metal twists and screams. The entire car is crushed into pieces and destroyed beyond any possible recovery. When the machine finally stops, all that remains is one tiny object sitting on the ground, which is the old necklace that Cutter always used to hang on his rearview mirror. The Phantom Racer is gone. The feud is finally over. With the ghost car destroyed and the nightmare finally over, JJ walks away from the junkyard with his new family, which includes Tammy and Jesse. The three of them leave together. JJ now knows the truth that Jesse is his daughter, and Tammy is glad to have him back in her life. For the first time in years, JJ has something to live for beyond the open road. The next day, the crushed remains of Cutter's car are collected and piled on top of other wrecked vehicles in the junkyard. It is just a heap of scrap metal now, but then without any explanation, the entire pile suddenly collapses, on its own, with no wind and no vibration and no reason at all. This is a warning, a sign. The Phantom Racer is not truly gone. His spirit has broken free once more, and somewhere out there on the road, the ghost of Cutter is preparing to ride again and take his revenge.